Hello and welcome to Life After Gray Narcissist Divorce. I'm 60 years old and I was divorced last February in what is known as a gray divorce because although the average divorce rate has decreased in general, led by the millennials, the divorce rate for those 50 and over has nearly doubled in the last 20 years. But I didn't just have an ordinary gray divorce. Mine was the gray divorce from a narcissist and everything that being married to a narcissist entails. The marriage started 17 years earlier when I was a single mom of 3 kids. And like most really good narcissists that I knew nothing about at the time, he employed love bombing to the hilt. That meant he was a real Prince Charming, just like out of the best romance novels, and he swept me off my feet and made me believe everything that you ever wanted to believe about a man, that he would take care of me and my kids and that all my problems were solved, and he was everything that I could ever want or hope or dream for in a man. And would be nothing like my previous marriage, which had ended because I believe my previous husband, he left me for another woman, and I believed that he was having a midlife crisis. We had both just turned 40 years old. I met my narcissistic husband on an internet dating site. It was called the Christian Cafe. My previous husband was not a Christian. Neither one of us were when we got married. I became a Christian during the marriage. And so I thought I was getting this wonderful Christian husband. That's how he presented himself. And he also did not drink, and my ex-husband was a drinker, and so I thought I was getting this wonderful Christian husband, that we would go to church together, read the Bible together, and that it was just going to be a totally different kind of marriage than what the marriage that I had been in. So we got married after only 3 short months because, like I said, he was a very good narcissist, which I knew nothing about at the time. And that's what they do, love bomb, rush into marriage. And we relocated. I lived in Nevada, and so sold my house, took the $100,000, which was my share of the sale of the house, and put it down onto our new home that we bought together. And it didn't take long for the lies to appear. And the first big lie that came out was that my new husband forgot to tell me that he had been bankrupt. And he told me that he didn't think that was a big deal to tell me, even though I was a CPA. So that was a real big yipes red flag that he hadn't told me. And I was pretty shocked by that. And so that was just the beginning of the lies. And the next thing that happened was we started attending church, and I had signed us up to be a host home, but within a year it became very clear that attending church was not going to work and wasn't his thing. And so I had stopped working because he worked for a major airplane manufacturer. Like I said, I relocated from Nevada to Washington State where he lived. I brought my 3 children, and he had custody of 2 children. So we had 5 children. between the two of us that were living in the home. There were actually 8 children between the two of us. So it just didn't make sense for me to work because of the cost of childcare. In hindsight, though, that was not very conducive for my future that I'm living now. My new husband was a workaholic, and it soon became very clear that I wasn't going to have very much of a partner in regards to anything to do with the kids, anything that was going to go wrong with the kids. He was going to blame me. We started family therapy. The wisdom is, which I know now, but I didn't know then, that he was a narcissist, and we went to marriage and family therapy for 8 years together. Me, him, all the kids, and that is not anything I would ever recommend to anyone, where mostly all the problems were blamed on me, and I willingly took on all the blame. And I don't want to go further into the details of everything that happened in this particular introduction video, other than to say that after 14 years in the marriage, I did discover that he was a narcissist. It took me that long to find out what was wrong. By then, my health had deteriorated quite a bit, especially my mental health, also my physical health, and I had experienced all the gaslighting and everything else that being married to a narcissist entails, and we did end up divorcing, like I said, last February, and including it ended up in financial abuse and basically bankruptcy and total financial ruin of me. So I'm like 60 years old with a real kind of scary financial future in front of me. You know, it was a nice opportunity to, after being a working woman for 43 years, to all of a sudden stay home and be with children and take care of children. But it came back to kind of bite me in the rear end, so to speak. But that's just where I stand today on this, and now I just want to tell you my reasons for starting this channel and how I want to try to recover myself, and what I'd like to do to try to be able to help both myself and other people. So I have 4 reasons for starting this channel. The first one is 2 Corinthians 1:4. God comforts us in our afflictions, so we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort that we ourselves are comforted by God. Those who have been in a narcissistic, abusive relationships are in a unique position in order to offer the support and empathy. They have truly walked through that fire. So it's something that, unless you have been in that narcissistic relationship and gone through that, others that haven't been through that just don't understand. So that's a unique position that other people just don't get. So that's the first reason. The second reason, before we can leave the past behind, we need to understand what happened to us and know the warning signs. Romans 13:12. The night is fast spent, the day is at hand. Therefore, let us cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. So we need to expose what happened to us to the light of day. We need to see and examine what happened to us to the light. We can't walk forward into our future unless we examine the past and figure out exactly what it was that happened to us. Otherwise, we're just walking into the future in darkness. So we need to be able to walk forward into the light. 3, we need to take small steps forward in healing and love building one another up in the present moment. So I'd like to create a community where we can build one another up and encourage one another to heal and walk forward in positive relationships and in positivity, because all the narcissist gave you was negative feedback, and we need to learn to give each other positive feedback and positive character building. And number 4, look to the future. Let's mourn the old one we thought that we had and look forward to the new one that God has opened the door for us. I mean, those old doors that we thought we had, yes, let's mourn them, because we're not going to have the life we thought we were going to have. But let's look and see what new doors are going to open for us. I have no idea what doors God's going to open for me. Right now, it looks like every door is slammed shut. But I just have to step out there in faith that He's going to open some kind of door for me and some kind of door for you. So please join me in my new channel and see what God has for us in our new lives, where we're free from our abusive relationships and where we can be free and living in the light and in love. And thank you very much for coming to my channel. And please subscribe.